Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our second parent information session of our new school year. Tonight's session is entitled Supporting Your Child in a New School Year. And I'm just going to go briefly over a couple of things about the evening's presentation, and then I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Jones. So you'll see on the next slide that first I would just want to introduce myself, George Alexis, Superintendent in Long Hill, and I'm joined by Dr. Lori Jones, Gillette Principal and Director of Curriculum and Instruction here in Long Hill.
Hello.
We have decided to begin this program this year of providing these parent information sessions as a way to help our families gain a deeper understanding of their children's experiences in school and how you can support them at home. So this is the second session. Last night we had a session on the National School Lunch Program and on transportation updates. That recorded video will be on the website before tomorrow morning. So if you missed that one, you can take a look on the website, and we're going to keep these all of these parent information sessions recorded and placed on the website for easy convenience and access. Okay, so we are going to talk a little bit about the information sessions, which I just did. I'm going to go over the district goals. Each year, the board approves district goals that we work on collaboratively, we set collaboratively. And then we're going to talk a little bit about ways you can support your child. And we'll talk about some of the school-family partnerships. So Dr. Jones, if you could just go to the next slide.
Sure.
You'll see the district goals for 2024-25. These will be on the board agenda on September 9th at the board meeting. And once approved, they will become the official district goals. The first one is a continuation of our efforts last year to deepen student understanding through inquiry-based strategies, personalized learning, and critical and creative problem solving. In essence, we are cultivating a culture of inquiry in the district where students are able to pursue creative problem solving, to use critical thinking skills, and to collaborate. But we're also placing a large emphasis on personalized learning. Now, this year, what is different is that we are using a means for measuring our progress, and it's going to be measured against the iReady diagnostics. Now, Dr. Jones will talk a little bit about iReady this evening, but we are planning a session for another parent information session for September later in the month to give you more detail about how you can support your child at home with the use of iReady. And she'll explain also how you can use the data that's available to you to help support your child. So we're excited about the way we will measure progress. We're excited to dig deeper into the use of iReady to support student learning. Along with that, we are focused on improving student attendance, and we hope to do that by engaging students and families and promoting a sense of belonging in our school community. We've also added a means to measure that progress, and we are hopeful that the goal that is set at 97% will bring us closer to the pre-pandemic rates of attendance. Attendance has dropped, as you probably, if you've read anything about this, it's catching the attention now that school's about to start across the country about the problem with chronic absenteeism that began after the pandemic. Our attendance is not anywhere near the sort of districts that are really struggling with chronic absenteeism, but we believe that if the students are in school each day and they're engaged and are learning, student achievement will take place. And, we are in the business of student learning and helping students grow. So we want our students in school every day as much as possible. And we believe that this focus and this attendance campaign will be helpful to the community. Along with that, and as part of that, we will be focused on raising family engagement through enhanced communication and in an increase in the number of in-person and remote opportunities for district families. This session tonight, last night's session, and the upcoming sessions throughout the year are all part of this goal. And again, we want to provide as much information. We want to help you gain a deeper understanding of your child's educational experience and how you can support your child throughout the school year. The last one is part of the CUSAC process, which is the state's monitoring process that is used and has been used for a number of years in New Jersey. It is on a 3-year cycle, and this year is our turn to go through the process. So we'll be reporting on that during the year, and we certainly will let the public know about the results of the process. And that's all I have to share right now. I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Jones, and she's going to get the program started.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Alexis. Okay, as Mr. Alexis said, this is the second of many Karen presentations and sessions that we are going to have this year, ranging on different topics. This is my first one. I will be presenting one on iReady, the importance of iReady, another one on understanding the diagnostic scores, how you can support your child at home through the diagnostic reports that you can view on Genesis. We will have one on 504s, INRS, and IEPs, myself and Mrs. Cologne. We will have one on testing, and those are just a few of many that are coming up this year, and this will be the format that we use. So it's very exciting. I am going to start off talking about attendance. It's not on this presentation. You will be receiving later on next week from each building an Attendance Matters flyer, just to go over a little bit what we're doing with attendance, how we always take it very seriously. But this year we are working with a website filled with many resources called attendanceworks.org. We've pulled information for our teachers, for our parents, and as Mr. Alexis said, if students are in school, they will learn. So I pulled these statistics off of attendanceworks.org, and I like to read them to you. I thought it was very interesting that when students miss 2 days of school per month, they'll miss 30 hours of math, 60 hours of reading and writing instruction, which is the equivalent of 1 full year by the time they end 8th grade. And if you go all the way up to high school, thinking that they could miss up to 2 years of school. So especially now, regardless of what age and grade your child is in, it's important to send your child to school. We do have resources in the district if you need help with sending your child to school, and we can definitely steer you in that direction. But attendance is definitely important. Now moving on to the importance of a smooth transition. So the impact of a positive start on a child's school year and the benefits of parental support and involvement have a positive impact on the student's academic performance. It improves their attention, it increases their confidence about other big transitions in their life. Research has shown that a positive connection between parents' involvement and student achievement makes students more motivated. It makes them more invested in their education, especially if they're aware that their parents are involved and that they care and that there's open communication with the teachers and everyone involved. So it's very important to start off the school year and maintain it with a smooth transition. Preparing for a new school year. There is an old saying that I still live by. When you leave your bedroom, your bed should be made. When you leave your home, your kitchen should be in order. Your house, your place where you live should be organized. And when you step foot outside of your door, that's how you're setting yourself up for the day. I truly believe in that. So to put this into words for our students, keep them organized. Start their day off even before the school year, organizing the kids, setting up their routine. This means, do you have their school supplies already? Are they checked off? Are they waiting in a box at the school with the PTO fundraiser? Or are they already in their book bags labeled, ready to go for the first day of school? Is everything ready? Another one is setting up a routine. A lot of families, including myself, don't really have a routine over the summer with your children. It's summer, you have them read, you have them do some math facts, but bedtime might be a little different. The routines get a little laxed in the summer, okay? A few days prior to the school year, it's very important to reestablish that routine. What time do your children go to bed? Forget about the summer now. What time is their bedtime during the school year? How is it when they wake up in the morning? Is the transition from them leaving your home to getting to school smooth? Is it consistent? I can't tell you how many times we have children coming in from the bus or from the pickup line, coming right into the office and saying, can you call my mom? Can you call my dad? I don't know how I'm getting home. Establish these routines before you leave the house so that your child is organized and ready and knows how the day will go. Another good strategy and tip is to review the school calendar or any newsletters that the principal sent home, the Friday e-blast from the superintendent, and the school calendars. Being aware of important dates such as back to school night, parent-teacher conferences, any school spirit days, any holidays in which the schools are closed, any in-service days for teachers in which the schools are closed, half days, and special events that come up, okay? You don't want your child walking in and it's a school spirit day and they may not have silly socks on or, another activity up at the middle school. You want to make sure that they're organized at home and that will then turn over into them being organized in school. Communicating with your child. So the communication between parents and children about school is extremely important for your child's success. Not only does it build a bond between you and your child, but it opens up communication about other things that may come up down the road. So having those open conversations with your child to share their feelings about the new school year. You might be moving into the district, or you might be coming from a private school, and this is your child's first time in Long Hill Township School District, or they may not have a lot of friends in their class from the year before. While the principals do try to put one or two familiar faces in the class for the following year, sometimes it may not happen. So is your child nervous about starting a school year? Does your child have a new teacher? Encourage your child to talk to you about any type of feelings, good, bad, nervous, scared, so that you understand how they're feeling and you can talk to them about it and ease that transition into the school year. We always talk in school about positive reinforcement. If a child, let's say, is misbehaving, we want to reward with positive comments when we do notice good behavior. It's very similar at home. Use positive language and focus on all of the exciting aspects of the new school year. Okay, you may not have a friend of yours in your classroom, but look at all the new friends that you could meet. Okay, so try to put a twist to any type of fear or a negative thought your child may have and make it positive at the end of the day. And I think that goes right into the next bullet on validating their feelings. That's very important to do with your children. Paying attention to their concerns. A lot of times when I'm talking to my own children, I have my phone in my hand like this. And I said, you know what? I'm not paying attention. I'm not validating their concerns. So when they talk, when I get home, I listen. I pay attention to them. It's important to model that eye contact and validating their concerns and their feelings, whether it's good or whether it's bad. To know that you're listening, they always know that they have someone that they can count on who's listening to what they're saying. Building a supportive environment at home. This is this goes hand in hand with that structure, that consistency, that routine, and that organizational piece that I think is very important. Creating that study space. You can start this in preschool. You have a little desk or an area in the room or an area at your kitchen table where it's a quiet space. And this is the space that they have going forward until they're out of high school. It's quiet, it's well lit, so they can see what they have to do for homework, for when they're studying, any projects that they're doing in the classroom. If they're working on iReady at home, this can also go right into their study space. So making sure that you create that study space and go over it with your child prior to the school year starting, so that when he or she comes home from school, even to sit there, you may not have homework, but let's go through your folder together, or let's go through your Google Classroom together. Let's go through Genesis. What do you have due next week? What do you have due tomorrow? What are some forms that I may, as a parent, need to fill out? Create that study space. Also establishing a homework routine. A lot of parents, when their children come home, you know your child better than anyone. Your child might need some downtime. He or she held it together all day at school. They might want to come home, have a snack, watch some TV, go outside, ride their bike, or just have some downtime for maybe 20 minutes to a half hour. And then you start the routine for the homework. After their downtime or whatever it is that they have to do, it could be a sport, it could be CCD, it could be aftercare, when they're just coming back from aftercare, that's their downtime. They come home and they start their homework routine. So setting the times for it, or at least that routine for it, and making sure that you monitor that progress. I can't tell you how many times parents walk away from that study space and their children are playing a game on the computer or texting friends on the phone or watching a TV that might be on in the other room. So if they know you're coming back to monitor them, that'll keep them on track and on task a lot better than if they know you're not going to come back. And encouraging extracurricular activities. I think this is very important for the social aspect of the children. Now, do you want to assign something to them 5 days a week? Probably not, but a good balance between the working at school and that extracurricular activity after school, you'll know how to balance that with your children. So supporting them in participating in activities that interest your child. It could be recreational sports. It could be force classes that the district has. It could be, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, stuff at your parish or at your temples. This can enhance their social and their academic skills, and it will also give them the opportunity to make friends that are not in their classes and that they may not sit with at lunch or they may not see during the school day. All right, staying involved in school. It's important for your children to know, for the teachers to know, for all of the stakeholders in the district to know you're an involved parent. You participate in parent-teacher conferences. You attend what you can based on work schedules and your other children's activities, what your children are in, whether that be a school play, whether that be a force presentation, the talent show that usually takes place in the spring, other events such as back to school socials that we'll have at Gillette, movie nights, bingo nights that we have at the other schools, and any type of school events that occur during the school day that principals typically will give a lot of notice on, that many of them are PTO run. Joining parent groups, the PTO meetings, when we attend, typically there's 1 or 2 parents that attend, and the PTO board. The PTO going to the meetings, they're only once a month. It's a great opportunity for you to learn very specifically what each school is doing every month, special events they have coming up, what the PTO budget goes for as far as supporting the teachers and the students in the classrooms, and other school-related organizations. Sometimes you can't make it to everything, but you make it to what you can attend. And it's your involvement in your child's education, because they're with us for a large portion of every day, 5 days a week, for the majority of the school year. So it's important to have an understanding of what they're doing in school. And communicating with the teachers, keeping in touch with your child's teachers, staying informed about your child's progress, discussing any concerns you may have, the teachers may have, reading those weekly newsletters that the principal sends out and the superintendent sends out, attending the parent-teacher conferences, looking at their report cards in Genesis, looking through the diagnostics when you get them in iReady, and just understanding how your child is progressing in school so that we're not waiting until the end of the year or mid-year to discuss any concerns or anything that you feel your child may need more of or may need some extra assistance in. So keeping that communication open between the teachers, the administrators, and you and your children is very important. Addressing common challenges. Stress and anxiety, there are a lot of children who have stress and who are anxious, and it may not be just about school or just about taking an assessment or running a mile in PE class. It could be outside stress and anxiety, something that they're overhearing on TV at night, maybe that parents are watching or an older sibling is watching, that might cause them a little bit of stress and anxiety. You know your children. We learn your children as the year starts to unfold. So we all have to work together to recognize signs of stress and provide reassurance and support. It's important for us as the school leaders to make sure that your children and you as the parents know where to go for support, know who to come to. We have our guidance counselors, we have our school nurses, you have your teachers, and you have any of the principals, child study team members that you can reach out to if your child is very stressed over something or is very anxious over things. And you'd be surprised how you're not alone in this and how many children do have stress and anxiety, and how once we're all on the same page, how we can reassure your child when he or she comes into school or goes home and support them so that they know there's always support for them. Handling academic struggles. A lot of parents and children, it's a battle to do homework. It's a battle to have your child study for a quiz or study for a test. Offer help with their schoolwork and seek additional resources. Sometimes it may or may not help to have your child do homework with a friend or a peer or a family member. That might help them not be stressed out over it, or they might feel more comfortable asking a peer or another family member for help with their homework, or going over information to study for a quiz. Test them on the quiz, give them your own quiz that you can make up online for vocabulary words or math facts or comprehension questions. There's a lot of ways that you can help academic struggles, and you can also, it doesn't have to be struggle, you can also provide extra. If you feel that your child is very prepared for a quiz, go ahead and ask deeper questions and try to challenge your child at home as far as academics with their schoolwork and any projects or quizzes and tests that may come up. And social integration, encouraging friendships and being supportive if your child is having difficulty socializing. Believe it or not, this is challenging for some families. A lot of parents don't want to rock the boat if it's a neighborhood family that their child is not, is having a tough time with. A lot of children just need to learn how to go up to a group of children, how to begin playing on the playground or talking in the hallway or going up to a handful of students at lockers and just starting that conversation, having that courage to start the conversation. And it's also important for children to understand boundaries and to learn to read the room, which we start very young. We start teaching the children in preschool how to look at your friends' faces. Does your friend look happy with what you're doing right now? Does your friend look sad? All the way up until they leave 8th grade on how would you feel if you read a text like this about you? Or how would you feel if you saw this posted on Instagram about you? Putting them in the shoes of everyone else and also encouraging them to be brave and to have those friendships. And I think it all folds in together when you're having them participate in after-school activities and participate in community activities to encourage those friendships and to encourage that socialization and practice doing that with one another. Okay, encouraging independence. So encouraging independence helps children of all ages develop many skills and qualities that are important for long-term success. It starts off at the very beginning of school. Have them come into school knowing how to tie their shoes, which is a little bit hard in preschool. Having them zip their jackets, having them go into the bathroom on their own, or having them in the older grades, have that confidence to go up to their teacher and say, I don't understand this, or can you go over this with me again? It's okay not to know things. And we tell the kids all the time, you're not going to know everything. That's our job to teach you. So you promote responsibility at home, and then you hope that it carries over into the classroom by allowing your child to take on age-appropriate responsibilities, managing their homework, preparing their school bag. At what age do you feel your child is self-reliant and responsible to do their own homework? And then when you get home, you check it at the end of the night. Or to prepare their own school bag. Is everything in your folder? Did you do all your homework? Did you study? Did you log into Google Classroom? Did you log into one lesson for iReady for ELA and one lesson for math? Did you sign everything you needed to sign? Are you buying lunch? Are you preparing your lunch? Do you have your snack? There's a lot of things you can do. And you can start doing that at home. Did you take a shower? Did you brush your teeth? Did you make sure to pack your sports clothes for practice right after school? Because we're going from one to another, which a lot of families do. Promoting that responsibility at home will then carry over into school and into other daily life activities. And problem-solving skills. Teaching your child how to handle challenges and make decisions on their own. This is very difficult, speaking from a parent and from an educator for almost 25 years. You always want to solve problems for your kids. You think you're doing them a favor, and you think that you're making things easy for them. And you might be at that moment. But what happens is, time after time, you're teaching them how someone else can solve their problems. And they don't learn that problem-solving skill for themselves. And you don't want to enable them to be in a situation where they don't know how to handle something and they're waiting for someone else to tell them what to do. So teaching them how to handle challenges. Let's go over what happened today. And it may be something over the weekend or on the sports field. How did you feel about that? What do you think you could have done differently? How do you feel about how you were treated? How do you think you should have been treated? And now, what do you think you're going to do? I'll give you a very quick example of something that I did, because sometimes I think it's good to tie in some personal connections. My son sent an inappropriate text message to a peer, and I found out through a screenshot of another parent. I went in, I spoke to him about it, and I think he understood, but I didn't think my consequence of taking his phone away was enough. So I drove him to the person's house, and I made him apologize to the peer and to the family for what was written. And he was a nervous wreck in the car. And I did feel a little bad, but I said, you know what? There's going to be a time where he's going to be in school or he's going to be at an event and he's going to do this, and he's not going to know that you shouldn't put some things in writing. And watch what you say, because once you put something out there, you can never take it back. It's always out there. And teaching your children those hard lessons, you might feel like you're being mean, or you might feel like you're being too hard on your child, but it's, depending on what it is, it's a good life skill, and they can only build upon that and continue to form problem-solving skills. Okay, I just want to talk a little bit about iReady before I thank everybody for attending. And if you do have any questions, please feel free to email me, or you can call me at Gillette School. iReady this year, our administrative team was trained on goals for our year. and what to do with all of the wonderful, specific, detailed information that we receive from iReady, and how we can help students in different domains, meaning ELA, so reading, writing, comprehension, vocabulary, informational text, mathematics skills, so algebra, geometry, number and operations, expressions. There are so many skills that the students are learning through iReady that tie into our curricular programs, that then tie into the New Jersey Student Learning Standards. We are starting iReady in grades 1 through 8, the first 2 weeks of school. You do not have to prepare your child, because 50% of what the first diagnostic is information they have not been exposed to. And based on how they answer those questions is how the test evolves to their readiness levels. And it's very fair for a child to not be in a completely on grade level or above grade level with the first diagnostic. It's not an unreasonable score. And then based on that, the program is set to provide lessons based on their readiness. And they can just go up or go down based on the skill. It also shows the teacher where your children are, where they are in their educational learning path for ELA and math. I'm not going to go too much into details, but last year was our first year, and we learned a lot through some errors, and we learned a lot just based on talking to other school districts, talking to other teachers, other principals on how they roll out the program. Do they have common expectations, and do they share the common expectations with the teachers, with the students, and with the parents, which is one area that we, in my opinion, did not do last year. So this year, we shared our expectations at a training with the teachers today, and each principal will be sharing specific expectations with their teachers tomorrow at our faculty meetings. And then in turn, I will be having later on in September an information session for parents on the first diagnostic. But it is recommended for grades 1 through 8, students take it the first 2 weeks. For kindergarten, it's between the first 4 to 6 weeks to have accurate scores. And in between each diagnostic should be 12 to 18 weeks to show true progress. So I'm very excited for iReady this year. Your child is not just sitting on a device doing work. It's scattered throughout the day, whether it's in math workshop centers or guided reading centers. There is time allotted throughout the week in school, and we will be asking for time allotted at week at home, or suggesting that that your children also do lessons at home. And I'll go over more of that at the iReady session. But we're really focused on student achievement. We're really focused on attendance, family engagement, and of course our CUSAC process. And I'm excited to present these parent workshops and sessions to those who attend. And I thank you. I will be reading any questions that you have in the chat out loud, and we'll answer what I can. So this one says, last year, I noticed that the first trimester showed met expectations for a few and below expectations for most of the skills and tasks. This improved with each trimester. However, this is concerning as a parent. Can't they be graded for what they are expected to know at that stage in each trimester and then go up to the next level, instead of setting expectations for the year and level from the first day of the grade level? Okay, what I think you're asking is, well, let me answer this, and then if I didn't answer it, just chat me again. The first diagnostic, your child is put onto a level, which is a number, how they score. And it could be meeting expectations above, below, and the MyPath is set. It's called MyPath. It's set for the students. It doesn't stay that way. It might change. It might change the next day. It changes. It's a very fluid process. The students' MyPath lessons change as they answer the questions. So your child might be above grade level on the diagnostic, but then as he or she is going through lessons, it might be something very hard and they might go down. So I believe your question is, if your child is below grade level at the first trimester, they do not have to wait until the end of the year, or they take the next diagnostic in order for their path to be altered. They don't have to wait. It will be altered as the more practice that they have at home, the more practice that they have in school, that's how your child's levels are altered. The diagnostic is really how I look at it, like a mini assessment. Are we on board for teaching the content? Are the teachers' objectives being met? The beginning of the year is where we start. The middle of the year is, are we on track to be successful? Are we hitting our goals? And then the end of the year is, how did we do? What did we do well? And what can we do better? And then based on that, we assign some information for a summer institute, if we have that each year, after school classes that we have available, and then some different sessions for interventions that we have during the school year. So I hope I answered your question. I have another one. Is there consideration to use the iReady Math textbook in the future, or will we be staying with Big Ideas? So as part of the textbook, the curriculum revision cycle, every 3 to 5 years, we follow a format of implementing, investigating, evaluating, and then researching. So we are in year 5 of Big Ideas. So we will be researching different programs. So iReady, the math textbook, and the ELA textbook can be one that we look at. We usually do this with curriculum committees that we form with 1 to 2 teachers per grade level, basic skills teachers, special education teachers, and child study team members, so that it's a very cohesive group along with administrators. We bring in research-based programs, and we talk, and we talk about best practices, research-based programs, and we make a group decision on what program we feel would be the best. Then we present that to the Student Achievement Committee of the Board of Education, and then to the full board. So could there be consideration to use iReady Math? Absolutely. Will that be definitely for next year? I don't know, because we have to go through a process of evaluating different programs. Okay, next question. Is the study plan set for each individual or set for the entire group? Is this group, small group, or entire class? If you mean the iReady plan, it is individual. It's not group. It's iReady is all individually based, targeted instruction based on how each student performs. We do have small group instruction for teaching, but that's not how iReady is set up. It's all individualized. Okay, is it possible for parents to be informed prior to the start of the school about the dates and amount of time students will be testing each day, so we can be prepared and also start the conversation at home with our children? And when will their results be shared in Genesis with parents? Yes, we can definitely do that. So what I typically do, and I would just like to have a conversation with Mr. Alexis and the administrators, is every year we put on the district website all of our required assessments in the time frame. So the WIDA assessments, the New Jersey Student Learning Assessments, the COGATs. What I can do this year is either post on the district website, or just having a conversation with the administrative team, I can send that information home. So I don't see why we wouldn't be able to do that with this question here, so that you can have those conversations. Yes. So iReady will be the first 2 weeks of school, and but I could see if I could get more specific for you. And the results in Genesis, as soon as the full class is done, they are posted in Genesis. That typically takes 2 weeks from the first day that they start. So what I could probably do is see, when I look at the dashboard on my dashboard, I can see when classes are done. And I can always send out an e-blast that within the next few days, your information will be posted in Genesis. So I can definitely communicate that out this year. Another question is, will there be any gifted and talented programs? So there are gifted and talented programs in the schools. For Gillette School, which is a pre-K K1, we have an enrichment program through our media library, which is we have library every week and then enrichment every other week with Mrs. Hartman. We also, all three schools, we have projects and competitions that we participate in through Mrs. Hartman, and this year will be Mrs. Ahmet with Central. With the Morristown Gifted and Talented Consortium. So that information will be coming out throughout the school year. We do have Futures, which is a gifted and talented program at Millington. And we do have Horizon, which is a gifted and talented program at Central. There is information posted on the website with our board approved, it's a board approved program, but it has the requirements, how your child has to score in different subject areas, how the points are tallied up at the end, and how your child is either admitted into the G&T programs or not admitted based on different information. And a lot of that is the COGATs, Fontana-Pinnell reading levels, math benchmark assessments, iReady, New Jersey Student Learning Assessments from the prior year. So there's a lot of work that goes into it. Also, for science, it's lab grades, also report card grades. So there's a lot that goes into it. Is there another question? Is there an assessment for gifted and talented program where students will parents be notified? Yes, that is grade 4. That is a COGAT assessment for grade 4. Parents are notified ahead of time. That typically takes place in February. You're welcome. Okay. All right, a lot of great questions. Thank you. I know this is recorded. This will be put, I believe, on the website or in some format for anyone who was unable to attend this evening, but I thank you very much. And
Yes.
if you have any questions, please reach out to me.
Yes, thank you all for participating. Dr. Jones, thank you for
Sure.
your time and for this presentation. The recording should be on the website. Give us about 24 hours and it will be posted on the website. And again, thank you for participating this evening. The questions are terrific and they're very helpful and they add to the presentation. So good night, everyone. Thank you.
Good night.